Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all, students? I hope everyone is safe and secure at your residence. As we all know, due to the breakout of pandemic COVID-19, we had a very long break or a long vacation. And I'm sure everyone must be eagerly waiting for your lesson. So this is your English teacher, Safa Samautullah, presenting you your very first lesson, the Seed of Truth. Seed of Truth? Doesn't it sound very strange? Or a plant of truth? Have you ever seen it? First of all, open your banyan tree book, page number 9, and take out your pencils in order to underline some of the keyword. And using your index finger, follow me as I read out the lesson. Lesson 1. The Seed of Truth. King Vidyadhara of Gandhara was a very good and just king. Underline the word Vidyadhara and Gandhara, both a word in the first sentence, Vidyadhara, Gandhara. His subjects were very happy. But as the king grew older, everyone got more and more worried. The king did not have any children who could take over the reins of the kingdom after him. Underline the word reins. The king was an avid gardener. Underline the word avid. He spent a lot of time tending his garden, planting the finest plants and trees. One day, he made a proclamation. Underline the word proclamation. I will distribute some seeds to all the children in the kingdom. The one who grows the biggest and healthiest plant in 3 months will become the prince or the princess. The next day, there was a long line of anxious parents and children outside the palace. Underline the word anxious. Everyone was eager to get a seed and grow the best plant. Pingala, a poor farmer's son, underline the word Pingala, was among these children. Like the king, he too was fond of gardening and grew beautiful plants in his backyard. Underline the word backyard. He took the seed from the king and planted it in a pot with great care. Some weeks passed, and in spite of all the care Pingala took, the seed did not sprout. Underline the word sprout. Pingala tried changing the soil and transferred the seed to another pot. But by the end of 3 months, nothing appeared. Underline the word appeared. Eventually, the day came when all the children had to go to the king to show him the plant that they had grown. Dressed in their best, holding beautiful plants in their hands, they started walking towards the palace. Only Pingala stood sadly watching them go by. Pingala's father had watched his son working hard with the seed and felt sorry for him. Why don't you go to the king with the empty pot? He suggested. At least he will know you tried your best. So Pingala too wore his best dress and joined the others outside the palace, holding his empty pot. Soon the king arrived and began his inspection. Underline the word inspection. The pots had flowers of different shades, beautiful and healthy, but the king did not look very happy. At the end of the line stood Pingala, and when the king reached him, he stopped in surprise. Child, why have you come with an empty pot? Pingala looked down and said, Forgive me, your highness. I tried my best. I gave it the best soil and manure I had, but the seed did not germinate at all. Underline the word manure. and germinate. The king embraced Pingala and with the smile on his face announced, "Here is the crown prince. I had given everyone a roasted seed which would never germinate, just to see which child was the most honest and would admit he or she was not able to grow anything. Only this boy told the truth. I am sure one day he will rule this kingdom with truth and honesty." And indeed, that was what happened. When the king grew old, Pingala, who had learnt everything from him, came to the throne and ruled Gandhara justly for many years, adapted from a story by Sudhamurti. What did you all understand when I read this lesson? The seed of truth. See, here the author Sudhamurti is trying to explain the importance of values in our life. A student needs, not only the student, everyone needs a basic value in our life. For example, like determination, dedication, honesty, hard work, love, and use of time. In a proper way with patience and truth. You need to mold all these kind of values in your life in order to be successful. So when you mold all this together along with truth, then it is known as a seed of truth. We will go back to the lesson. In this story, you have a king named Vidyadhara. King named Vidyadhara, he was a king who used to rule his kingdom named Gandhara. His kingdom was Gandhara. The people over there were very happy. The king was very just and very good. But his subjects, as the days passed, they started to worry because the king was getting old and he did not have any children to take over all the reins of the kingdom. Reins means to control the kingdom or to rule the kingdom. He did not have children. And the king was an avid gardener. Avid means he was very interested in gardening. It was his hobby. And he used to plant very beautiful and healthy plants in his garden. So he was an avid gardener. What he decides is he makes a proclamation. Proclamation means he announces that he is going to distribute the seed to all the children in the kingdom, and who will grow the best plant will be the prince or the princess. So all the children in the kingdom were very anxious. They were very feeling worried. They wanted to grow the best plant because they wanted to be the king or the future crown prince. So in those children, there was a boy named Pingala. He was a poor farmer's son, and even he was an avid gardener. He was really interested in gardening. And even he was among those children. He went to palace and collected the seed. And he brought the seed and planted it very carefully into the pot. But the seed did not sprout. The seed did not sprout, and the king had given everyone the 3-month time. In 3 months they had to grow the beautiful plant and present it to the king. Even Pingala tried his best by changing the soil and giving all the manure. In spite of all the hard work, the seed did not sprout, or the plant did not appear. The day came when everyone had to go to the king to show their plants. All the children in the kingdom, dressed in their best dress with their beautiful plants, went to the palace. But Pingala was very sad because he did not have a plant. And his father had seen Pingala working hard with the seed. So he suggested Pingala, saying that, "Why don't you go with the empty pot? At least the king will understand that you tried your best." So Pingala, with his empty pot, dressed with the best dress he had, he went to the palace. When he went to the palace, all the children were standing with their beautiful plants and flowers. The king came there. He started his inspection. He examined each and every plant. They were very beautiful. But the king was not so happy. At the end of the line stood Pingala with his empty pot. He looked at Pingala in surprise and he asked, "Child, where is your plant? Why have you not brought your plant?" Pingala, putting his head down, answered, "Your Highness, I tried my best to grow the plant, but the plant did not sprout in spite of giving all the manure." Now the king was very happy. He embraced Pingala and told, "This will be our next crown prince. I had distributed the roasted seed which could never germinate, just to see which of the child would be the most honest and will say the truth. And only this boy told me the truth. So he will be the next king and he will rule the kingdom with honesty and truth." See, because of the honesty and truth which he had within him, Pingala became a king. In the same way, you need to have all the values along with the truth and honesty and plant it in your fertile mind in order to have a successful life. If you plant the seed in your mind, fertile mind, then only you will have a successful and bright life. I hope you have understood the lesson. Jazakumullahu khaira.